Amid rising tensions in West Asia, the Israeli Air Force conducted drills simulating Iranian missile attack on the Israeli air bases targeted by Tehran in April and October 2024. In fact, this is according to a report by the CAN public broadcaster, which added that the drills were aimed at boosting readiness in case the ongoing nuclear talks between the US and Iran collapse. Iranian airstrikes in October 2024 had reportedly targeted the Nevatim air base in southern Israel, the Tel Nof base in central Israel, and the Mossad spy agency headquarters in Glilot. While the strikes in April 2024 had targeted the Nevatim and Ramon air bases, both in southern Israel, the Israeli Air Force drill taking place amid reports that Tel Aviv has not ruled out an attack on Iran's nuclear facilities in the coming months. In fact, last week itself, the New York Times reported that Israel had prepared to strike Iranian nuclear facilities in the month of May in order to delay Tehran's ability to build a nuclear weapon. In other developments, at least 8 U.S. Air Force C-17A Globemaster III transport aircraft were tracked, flying from Ramstein Air Base in Germany to Israel's Nevatim Air Base on Sunday. The operation, reported by the open source intelligence monitors, has been part of a broader U.S. mission to bolster Israel's defenses since April 10. At least 25 C-17 flights have reportedly landed in Israel, ferrying air defense systems. Israel's Nevatim Air Base is one of the largest bases operated by the Israeli Air Force, hosting advanced aircraft like F-35 stealth fighters, and serves as a hub for missile defense systems, including the U.S. Army's THAAD battery deployed nearby. Due to its proximity to potential threats, it seems that efforts are being made to fortify the Nevatim Air Base and position it as a frontline bulwark against Iranian missile attacks. Meanwhile, Pentagon advisor Dan Caldwell, who was fired with several other Defense Department officials amid the leak investigation, has warned of risks involved in the war with Iran. Speaking with U.S. commentator Tucker Carlson, he said a war with Iran risks being incredibly costly in terms of lives and dollars and instability in the Middle East. He added that it could be lives of Americans, Saudis, Iranians, Iraqis, and Israelis. On the other hand, the U.S. Central Command shared new footage of its campaign against the Houthis, saying U.S. aircraft Harry S. Truman continues its round-the-clock operations in the Red Sea against the Iran-backed rebels. On Monday, Yemen's Houthis said U.S. airstrikes on Sana'a killed at least 12 people and wounded 34. Later, a military spokesperson claimed attacks on U.S. aircraft carriers and Israel. And with us on the broadcast this minute is Dr. Mir Javed Afar. He is a lecturer of Iranian politics at the Reichman University in Israel, West Asia analyst and co-author of The Nuclear Sphinx of Tehran. Thanks very much for being here. Let me begin by asking you for your assessment of what Dan Caldwell there has said about the war with Iran being incredibly costly.
It is true, of course, all wars are costly. And a war with Iran could create instability in the Middle East in the form of Iranian military strikes against U.S. bases in places such as Iraq, Syria, Saudi Arabia, and perhaps other countries such as Qatar and United Arab Emirates. I don't think anybody should be under the illusion that a war with Iran would be easy. We in Israel experienced firsthand 2 major attacks, direct attacks from Iran last year. In one of them, at least 500 missiles and UAVs were fired at Israel, and 330 left the Iranian airspace and were heading towards Israel. Thankfully, with the help of our partners, we were able to destroy most of them. But this is what we could face in case of war with Iran. But at the same time, despite the possibility of the heavy costs, we should not ignore this scenario if Iran decides to make a nuclear weapon.
Right. What do you think is the message that Iran and the United States are trying to send out at this point?
I think well, I don't know if Wester Caldwell is speaking on behalf of the Trump administration. When we think of the Trump policies towards the Islamic Republic of Iran, we cannot just look at it on its own. We have to look at it as part of a framework of other challenges, which the United States, especially, of course, the Trump administration is facing. These include China, the rising Chinese economic strength, Chinese military strength. It now has probably, I think, more warships than the US. The challenge of tariffs, the challenge faced by the US in failing to get a ceasefire in Ukraine and in Gaza. So I think there is this school of thought in the United States that it is possible that the Iran nuclear deal could actually turn out to be relatively a more easy to reach deal than with these other countries, considering the massive economic challenges that the Islamic Republic of Iran faces. Therefore, we don't need to go to war. But President Trump right now is keeping both options open, and he's using the military threat, including those massive weapon deliveries to Israel, which you noted, in order to pressure Iran to reach a nuclear deal. And this is where we stand at the moment.
All right, we're leaving it there for the moment. Thanks very much for joining us with your perspectives.
Thank you.